Welcome to Ferocious Education. This is Ed. Today we're going to be talking once more about Naked Brands Group, NAKD. Make sure to drop a like to this video to help this channel grow, subscribe, and leave notifications on. And let's jump right into this one. So NAKD, I've done a previous video on it, so this is an update. You'll find my previous video in the description below. Now, broken this one into a due diligence update and technical analysis, and then I'll proceed to say what I think about it. So for Naked Brand Groups, this one here, if you've noticed in my last video as well, I did mention it. In terms of the latest events or media, it looks like they're not updating that part of the page. In terms of our IR calendar, that is actually even empty there. And even when we're looking in terms of a presentation, we don't find anything under presentation. So definitely, I think they need to hire a new PR manager or something like that. But in terms of the offering, they closed a $50 million registered direct offering priced at the market. The big thing about this one here is their Naked Brand Group announcements for transformation business restructuring plan focus exclusively on accelerating e-commerce platform. And this one is actually pretty massive. It builds a dominant e-commerce leader focused on intimate apparel market, leveraging growth and synergies market M&A, advising in existing fast-growing e-commerce operations, divesting unprofitable brick-and-mortar operations through the sale of Bendon subsidiary to deliver a strong balance sheet and access to capital markets to execute e-commerce growth strategy. And that's a bullish thing because they do recognize that that brick-and-mortar is being a little bit obsolete. They are selling some of their subsidiaries or the business operations that are not bringing them as much money, and that's a massive thing. Now they are divesting into e-commerce, and the market is loving that. Now, big thing, this one had a massive short interest. I don't think that short flow is anymore around 40%. It shows on Finviz it's around 10%, which is somewhat acceptable, so that's fine. When it comes to around a float of 424, you're probably looking at 10% of that, $40,000, or almost like 40 would be $60,000 in short sales. So that's fine. Now, regarding institutional investors have been touching this one almost for a while. Capital Direction Investment today liquidated their entire position and probably have been holding it for a while. They're just scared to hold it any longer. In terms of the big institutional investors, you get to see not a lot of things going on. Now, generally speaking, this one here has one problem with compliance. It's not meeting the 10 days above $1 compliance. I'll get to that in a second. Now, moving on towards their financials here, you get to see on Yahoo, the market cap currently is $650 million. I don't think that's adjusted to the after-hours operations. In terms of statistics, you get to see that the price per overbook is just a very small, slightly tad more expensive than the SP 500, but par with SP 500. SP 500 is somewhere around 2.5, currently sitting around 279. That's a good thing. Now, in terms of the financials here, what we get to see, we know already that they do have $50 million offering. I believe that is the only actual offering they've had recently. And since the last quarter they had around 18 million in terms of the recent cash. But before we do so, we need to look a little bit of tad into the amount of money they burn. So if we were to look at least into the normalized income, yearly speaking, they burn around $35 million. Now on a quarter perspective, into the balance sheets, their total assets, there we go, around 18, what is it at? There's around, this is annual. We need just quarter here. Their total assets around cash is around 18 million, so around 68 million. Their total debt is around 63 million, so they can pay off their entire debts right away. But I think there's going to be some money there going towards their e-commerce platforms and their e-commerce operations. Now, we covered a lot of these information here, so I think that's enough in terms of the due diligence, in terms of what we expect. Before we go on towards technical analysis, make sure to please subscribe and leave notifications on. It helps my channel a bunch. Now, on a 1 week perspective, you get to see that the actual price point, the price movement is actually really strong. The momentum here looks really good. It looks like it's very positive. Volume per cent R is looking to be somewhere around neutral, so it's not overbought, oversold. ADX is actually still below 50, so it's a little bit of a safer haven than above 50. Above 50 is where you start expecting negative reversals to occur. And MACD here looks really strong. Now, on 1 week candles, they look pretty good. Moving averages looks fully bullish. Now, on a 1 day perspective, things are looking a little bit better in terms of the movement. The moving averages band is between 127 and 82 cents. Expect every time it gets into the trading action zone, expect positive reversals. 50 SMA is above the 200 SMA, and the 10 SMA is above 30 EMA. That's amazing. ADX is sitting somewhere a little bit towards the overbought, and the willing percent R is sitting at the oversold section. So that's amazing because a correction means the green wave. MACD, it attempted to go towards negative reversal yesterday and got rejected. Momentum is looking really nice and positive. Now, on a 2-hour perspective, what we get to see here next is that the 10 SMA is above 30 EMA, yes, but it's very much onto an accumulation zone. Now, currently speaking, everything looks very bullish. Momentum is really strong. MACD is strong. Well, ADX shows it's easy to see a pullback at this level, and willing percent R is showing it's overbought. But generally speaking, you're seeing that it's very much an accumulation zone. Moving average band over here, you get to see that it's expected to trade between 99 cents on the top, 90 in the middle, and 81 cents at the bottom. But it hasn't been doing so in a while, so we're going to ignore that a little. Stochastic fast and stochastic slow are both showing that there is a potential other leg up, and that is very strong to take in consideration. Now, on the Fibonacci retracements, we get to see a significant support sits at the 160 level. Below that, 112, and one below that is 34 cents. Significant resistances based on Fibonacci is 199, 238, 293, and 363. Significant supports and resistance lines on the price action sits at 144 as their support, 154, 174. That would be actually a resistance. Sorry, support is 155, 135, 117, 109, 101, and then the 83, and then from there 62. Significant resistances back to that where we were just talking about it, 175, 189, perhaps let's say the 199 mark, and then you're looking at the 240, 240, 267, 23, and then 306. Now it comes to the question to Ed, what do you think about this one? I definitely think that there is probably a strong advancement or a strong potential moving forward in that sense. I definitely do think that we're probably going to see a little bit of higher highs moving on forward, and that's something that I think will be very bullish in the short term. Now towards compliance, what we get to see is that in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days, we've only been below $1 for 1 day. So, of course, it resets. Currently, with day 1, 2, 3, my bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need 4 more business days to close above $1, and its compliance is solved and no reverse split is ever needed. So far, it's looking good. What do you think about the sticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like. You have a wonderful day.